There we go. That's what I wanted. No camera, no BS. And let's see if I can hear myself. Can I hear myself? Hello, hello. There we go. That's what I wanted. All right. No camera, no BS. All right. So I'm going to mute that. And all right. So if you hop on Storn, I'm going to leave this open. We can either chat in Discord or YouTube. So I'm just going to hang out here, see if you pop in. I'll just type this in here. So I'll just wait. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna head into the game. Let's see. It should pop up. I think I've got about a 10 to 15 second delay. Maybe a little more. So just gonna see. Let's see if I can. Yeah, it's kind of hard to see both chats. But anyway, if you don't get a chance to watch this live, I guess I'll just go through what I've got. Let's let the game load, get into Skyrim, and and then I'll go back to OBS and we can look at the settings. And that doesn't look good. Oh no, that's because yeah. We got the little blue circle going. I have the feeling Skyrim crashed. But that has nothing to do with... we'll wait for the game to respond, see if it does. Sometimes it doesn't like alt-tabbing. Close the program. Doesn't like alt-tabbing around. Yeah, Windows reports the problem to Microsoft like Microsoft gives a crap. Don't report the problem to Microsoft. Just shut the damn thing down, please. There we go. This is still a test bed loadout anyway, so that's probably why it crashed. So let's just look at settings in OBS. So you can see that I have a scene called games, and I'm using display capture rather than game capture. So it'll capture any window. That's because I like to sometimes stream with Mata Organizer open to talk about it and stuff like that. So that's where I have. This is OBS Studio, the latest 21.1.0. It just updated this morning when I loaded it up. And for settings, let's see. So under stream, of course, you gotta have the stream key in there. And I'm using YouTube. I can also use Twitch from here. Under general, you can look at those. Output, there's my bit rate for streaming and my encoder. I like to use the hardware because that's using my GPU, which is a fairly powerful one, so I think that works a little better. I have my recording path in here, but that's not something I can change while I'm streaming. So you can see what I'm using. If you can see it, so it's a little grayed out again. Can't change it while I'm streaming, but I have it set to sharpen scaling, 32 samples, and that's basically HD. And then under advanced, I don't think there's much of anything using the Direct3D 11 renderer. This is all pretty much, I don't know what you call it, vanilla, default, whatever stuff. There's nothing really special about any of these settings except here, the display capture. And you should be able to hear me. Let me just recheck that. I'm going to unmute myself on YouTube. Here, yep, okay, so I know my audio is coming through. So you'll see it mirrored. Once you pick up your computer's video feed in OBS, you'll see this kind of infinite mirroring going on. And you'll see your whole. I have two monitors, so it's only capturing. That's why it says display capture 2. I'm only capturing the gaming, the one I watch the game on, and on my other monitor I'm watching YouTube and Discord to see if anybody pops on. So I'm going to make this a little bigger for you here. And I don't know if any of this helps at all. If you have an NVIDIA card in your machine, I do highly recommend Shadowplay. It's very seamless, works extremely fluidly. You'll need to install their what do they call it? GeForce Experience. It's down here. I also have that running, so if I actually hit one of my hotkeys, it would start that too, which would probably cause some consternation in my computer. So let's just try running Skyrim again and see if it loads up without crashing. And you can see the game as well. I did have a fair amount of trouble early on with OBS. One of the other guys at ASA, which is where I do a lot of podcasting and stuff, it's a Skyrim addict. One of the other guys there uses OBS consistently. He's never had a single problem with it. He uses it to do a lot of Fallout. He's done some long series of New Vegas and a bunch of other stuff using OBS. Has had excellent luck with it. It is, once you get it going, it seems to be fairly bulletproof. and it is more powerful. I know Stu uses it as a. I mean, he's a power user with it, and so you can do all kinds of cool overlay stuff. There's another YouTube streamer I like to watch who calls himself Zarex Hakaran. He uses it a lot with the overlays and things. So there's a lot of really cool stuff you can do with it. So it's totally, and you can see my little the Alt Z up there. That's Shadowplay, which is running in the background. Now that might be why Skyrim is crashing right now, because I have Shadowplay is running in the background, even though it's not actually recording or doing anything, but it's also running, so I may be having memory issues or whatever, and that's why Skyrim is crashing when I try to actually launch the game. But let's just try it one more time and see if I can get into the game. If not, I was playing it last night, so it's not an issue of. It probably isn't an issue of mods or anything else. It's just an issue of too many things going on the computer at once. So. But I know I have good, solid internet. I have close to 300 megabit down and about 25, 26 up. So it's not an issue of internet either. Now this looks like it's still thinking. It's a hugely modded game. There's 203 ESPs in this, plus a hell of a lot more stuff. So there it is. There's my Skyrim. All right. So frame rate's a little choppy. We're down at 27. Got a lot of mods, a lot of texture mods loaded right now. So we're just going to wander around. You might recognize this spot if you've played a lot of the Skyrim. This is where I'm going to be starting my. This is a random drop, by the way. Amazingly enough, this is where I'm going to be starting my Unbound Season 2 character. I won't even go into third person because I don't want to show them. I'm not going to talk about the sex or gender or whatever, and or anything else. But this is my Skyrim, and but as you can see, it's running pretty well. The stream never really quite does justice to the way it looks on my monitor, but that's just because of all the compression. I'm using Rudy ENB and a lot of other texture mods and things. So anyway, hopefully at least this sort of proves to you, plus a lot of grass mods. I have viscous grass on this particular loadout, and some tree textures. Simply Bigger Trees is running. This is HZ Mountains, which looks a little bit stretchy over the meshes close up, but looks awesome from a distance. So I like it. I like the rock textures and stuff. So anyway, hopefully this at least shows you that it can work. OBS does run. Let's see what my frame rate has gone up to or down to. Now we're still running in the 30s. So that is going to be a hit, running a heavily modded game with OBS. It's a little bit better with Shadowplay. A little not so much better with XSplit. That's even harder on the system. And nothing is going to be great if you're using a lot of mods. If you can just sort of barely see in the distance the mountains there, you can see the clouds around them where my cursor is. I'm using Obsidian Mountain Fogs, and there's some more of it right there. That also captures a few frames per second. So I live with it because I love mods, so I live with the frame rate issues. But Some people can't stand that. I do admit that, you know, having played a lot of 60 frames per second games and playing Skyrim a lot at 60 frames as well, whenever it drops down into this range, it does look a little, you know, it's tough to watch. But anyway, that's it. I'm going to pop out here and go back to the desktop. So quit the desktop. So we're back, and we'll just go back to OBS and make that full screen. So you can see the infinite OBS tunnel. That's what it should look like when you're in standard mode. If you go into studio mode, it'll go into split screen. I have not mastered that by any stretch of the imagination, but at least maybe some of that will help you figure out what's going on with your system. I am running a NVIDIA 1070. I've got 16 gig of RAM, 8 gig on the 8 more gig GP on the GPU. Pretty fast Pentium, or whatever you call it these days, processor. Can't think of anything else that might affect your end of things. But if you look up the black screen bug on YouTube, you might find a setting or two that you need to change on your end. So with that, I'm going to stop streaming, and YouTube will capture this. So if you want to watch it later, you are free to do so. I'll leave it up for a couple of days, but it's just a quick vid, so I'll probably delete it from my channel eventually. So anyway, I hope that helped a little bit. If it didn't, good luck finding the solution, and this is Vic, out.